Welcome to Sad Boys, a podcast about feelings and other things also. I'm Jarvis.
And I'm Jordan. How y'all doing?
And that's Jordan.
Yep.
And today we're joined by no one else.
No, yeah.
Anastasia's here, Peeps is here, Jordan is here. And that's the last we'll be saying about that.
Mm-hmm.
No, Jordan's out of town. He's out of country actually.
Yeah.
For the next little bit. So we're going to be having a rotating cast of characters in the Jordan spot, playing the role of Jordan. As you know, every episode of Sad Boys is scripted.
Yeah.
So Iffy here, we're joined by Nwadiwe, who's learned all of his lines.
Yes, of course. It's me, Jordan Adika. Pish posh applesauce.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow! You sound more authentic than he does.
Yeah.
How you doing, bud?
Pretty good. I'm feeling good. You know, nice and warmed up. We got some matcha in me.
We got some matcha in you. I ate some saltine crab. I have like 4 beverages that I've had this morning.
Yeah.
And I feel strange, and I think it's my fault.
You over beverated?
I had like coffee 1, and then I had coffee 2, different types of coffee.
Yeah.
And then I had some water. I had A&W zero sugar root beer because I wanted something with no caffeine.
Yeah.
And I ate some saltine crackers, and now I feel like somebody's watching me.
No, tell me who.
But yeah, so I feel bad, but that's what makes this show great, is that I'm allowed to feel bad.
Yeah.
The podcast where you can watch someone feel bad.
Yeah, you can watch me be in discomfort for drinking too many beverages and then eating like those Quest protein bars that taste like complete shit.
I'm actually a Quest stan, but my taste buds are bad.
But I don't think. But here's the thing: I eated it. But like I don't. It's also not where I would go for like fine dining.
Oh yeah, of course. No, you're like, that's a protein.
I go, and I feel each protein going into my body and my taste buds.
Yeah, because I've been a meathead for a while now, and I've been over, I think, almost 2 decades of just like lifting weights and eating protein. And I think because I've tasted the progression of protein progress, I have some quests, and I'm like, oh,
you have like, so I will say that
is this crumble?
Yeah, while their protein bar is not my favorite, I think they have a lot of really good products.
Oh yeah,
like they have those like Reese's peanut butter cup things that are really good. They've got like Dorito style chips there.
That changed the game for me.
Yeah, so a lot of those things are good. But the one thing that stays strong is that the protein bars taste like sand.
Yeah,
they do just kind of turn into grainy little bits of sand in my mouth.
They're just thick. Are you getting the Oreo cookie one?
No, this was the chocolate chip. Maybe peanut butter ? Calling it a flavor is really generous.
Yeah, I know that.
It's
one.
more of like an inspired.
Yeah, that's like a low tier one. I think the cookies and cream does well because the cookie piece is kind of like put too much cookie in my mouth.
I'm a sucker for cookies.
Oh yeah. I just recently did a thing that probably won't be out for some time.
Millennials be like, I recently did a thing,
but but we were ranking desserts, and the cookie was rated really high.
Okay.
And I was like, I think as a dessert, a singular, like it was like a flavor of cookie. I'm keeping it vague just in case, not to spoil it. But it was, and I was like, I think if you did, because sometimes it fluctuated. Sometimes it was like this specific flavor, like it'd be like a strawberry cheesecake, and then it would be a regular cheesecake. And then sometimes it's like donuts. And you're like, well, yeah, if you have all of donuts, that's high. That's high ranking. But I don't think like a singular flavor of cookie is a top 10.
I personally will put in my own personal pantheon of pastries. Sorry, I just love alliteration.
You love the P also.
Specifically because I need to practice
pronouncing.
Your plosives?
I need to practice pronouncing my plosives. Por the pop filter. Anyway, I would personally put doesn't start with a P. Chocolate chip cookies in my top 10.
Okay.
I get it. I understand. I also am kind of obsessed with the concept of a chocolate chip cookie without chocolate chips, because when I was a kid, and someone, I think, I want to say Johnny's son or somebody posted a recipe for this, But when I was a kid, I was like, why does the cookie part of the chocolate chip cookie taste so different than a sugar cookie?
Yeah.
And Peeps is chomping at the bit right now.
I am so passionate about this.
Please.
Because, okay, every time there's a sandwich place that my dad and I would go a lot, and they have really good chocolate chip cookies, but I would always be really excited if they give me one with very little chocolate chips.
Right.
Because it's the brown sugar in chocolate chip cookies
Right.
that does it.
The
And
brown
it's
sugar.
so good. And I've been meaning to make some without chocolate chips because that's just so good by itself. And everyone's like, why wouldn't you want them? And I'm like, because it's a better sugar cookie.
You
Yeah.
should make
It's
it
so
like a
good.
chocolate, like a single, because we call it chocolate chip cookie,
Yeah.
but really it's chocolate chips.
Yeah.
So what if you just put one chocolate chip in there?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Just for, like,
a
My
as a
chocolate
garnish.
chip cookie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just contribute one
No.
little
Yes,
thing?
of course.
We told you to stop talking. No, just kidding.
I love the dessert that is like
Sorry, I just was imagining. Can I say something? We're like, yeah, Anastasia. You're like, I love desserts.
Yeah.
That's all.
Just wanted to put that out there.
No. Please.
like at BJ's Brew House, they call it the Pizookie,
Mhm.
where it's like a kind of gooey, fresh baked chocolate chip cookie
Yeah.
with ice cream on it.
Yeah. In my opinion, too much cookie.
Too much cookie.
Too much
In my
cookie.
opinion, separate but equal. Like ice cream, you can be over there. Cookie, you can be
Are
over
you
there.
don't like your sides touching?
No, I don't
versus-
mind that.
Okay.
Just for whatever reason, I think I like room temperature to warm cookies on the like temperature spectrum, and the ice cream is going to
Bring it down.
accelerate the cooling
I
process,
see.
and I don't always like that about my cookie.
I like a really hot brownie with vanilla ice cream on it, especially when it's
That-
still hot but the ice cream helps it not burn your
See,
mouth. It's like the
that's-
perfect.
I agree,
Yeah.
because there is something a little flirty and a little risky, almost like jumping out of a plane to me, of when you have like that really hot fudge like brownie.
Yeah.
And you're like, it's almost burning the roof of your mouth, but you're like, don't worry, I can. Oh no, am I gonna burn myself? Just kidding. We're dousing the flames with
the ice
some
cream
nice
help,
vanilla
they'll come
ice
to the
cream.
rescue.
So when you're going to order your dessert, do you let your man order for you? Let's talk about travel.
Oh shit! I do want to talk about that. I do want to talk about. I love Anastasia's segues that I then don't allow us to segue.
Yeah, you're like
because first I do want to ask Iffy how his week has been.
Oh, my week's been great. It's been, I mean, it's so funny. I was just going to be like, I don't know if you've seen how some people point out where it's like, everyone just says like everything's good when it's not, and I think it's been a spicy week for me. I think there's like, a lot of like hard conversations happening
Real.
in relationships, but we're on the other end of it. So I think it's good. And it's, only Wednesday. So,
Hey.
and tomorrow I fly to Seattle to go see my boys, MCR. I wanted to do a thing where, because Frank and our buddy Evan got into Magic, and I was trying to get them to do a draft. I offered your house
at
up.
one point, Iffy asked me if I would host a Magic event for My Chemical Romance,
Yeah.
and I was like, yeah, sure.
I don't know. Somebody, what if you're like, no, I'd like actually, my dad runs the White Parade. And
Yeah, I'm kind of
and they're-
anti-black
yeah,
parade
the
specifically.
parades.
Imagine if I came like to my own house like in emo makeup
Yeah.
and like wearing like a black tee and like a big gaudy like belt buckle with the like studded belt. These
Yeah.
are things that I owned in middle school. I wish I still had. And then I was like making song references to everyone. What if I was just like that guy?
Yeah.
My Chemical Romance wasn't like a Hyperfocus for me, but I of course love their stuff. But thankfully it's not, because I probably couldn't be normal around like Paramore.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's.
If I ever was in the same room as Haley Williams,
Well-
I'd be so weird.
I'm going down to Tampa so that I can see them do it where Evanescence opens, and I can't tell you what's going to happen when I see Amy Lee. I can't.
Yeah. I
You
feel
know?
like I would start every if I was asking Amy Lee how her Pizookie was, I'd probably be like, how does your Pazuki take? You know, like I wouldn't be able to be normal about it.
So that's the. But I was trying to get them, you know, down here, but they had rehearsals and I was out of town.
Who needs it?
But I think I want to surprise them with like maybe some expensive ass collector's packs, because I kind of kept dangling it and was like, we're gonna do a draft, and then I got too busy.
But always happy to support and can always run any Magic thing. I this week am doing good.
Hell yeah.
Though I did recently slide into someone's DMs that I met at a party.
Okay.
And they haven't responded.
That is
and
always the worst.
It makes me upset. I'll say it. I have human feelings.
Yeah, I know it is. I mean, a DM slide is so, you know, so risky. I love it.
It was like a meet at a party, follow back. And then it was really just like a, hey, nice to meet you, but trying to open the door for a potential, hey, let's grab coffee or something like that. And who's to say this could still happen? Maybe they're busy bee. Maybe they've been on a roller coaster this whole time.
It's always wild when it's like maybe like 2 weeks later and they're like, I'm so sorry, this was trapped in like some other place.
And I believe, look, I think I just need to err on the side of pessimism sometimes to not get myself excited. I thankfully did that here, so I'm not invested.
There was like a recent like DM exchange, and I don't know if this person wants anything romantically or whatever, but it did help me connect the dots on why I end up dating so many autistic women, because one of the things that really makes me attracted to someone is when they're like very hyper focused and love to overshare about something that they like really love, like in like great details. It's like that to me is like flirting, when you're just oh, here's all this, and they responded to a post I said where I said March Madness was Imogen Heap's. It sampled Imogen Heap's. I forget the song now, but we went back and forth whether it was like interpolation or sampling and why I thought it might be sampling. And then they like listed out the keys and like why they're different and all this, and then went into their like a Serato DJ program and layered them and played it and was like and I was like, that's wild, the hottest thing ever. And you just probably just like, here's this info. And then it didn't hit me until like they just traveled and they came back and we're just kind of talking about, because you know the LA Metro finally has the train that goes all the way to the station, and they were just kind of like talking about like, oh, this is what it like 20 minutes to get back to the station and all this stuff. But then when they got to the train, they were like, oh, this is the light rail, and said like the exact type of train it was. And I was like, okay, I think there's like connective tissue here. That was going way different than you thought it was when I said I date a lot of autistic women, huh? You made a face.
Well, because I was like, where is this gonna go? And maybe I did guess it was trains.
Well, okay. Touche. But but to that, because you know because it's such a meme at this point, it made me connect that thing where it's like, oh, and it made me think back. It was like a Usual Suspects moment of just like how detailed they were, and truly they could just be like a secret producer who's just very knowledgeable about it. But I think
just anyone with a hyperfocus, I want nothing more than to just talk about Final Fantasy X.
Yeah.
And Expedition 33, because I guess since we last recorded the podcast, I think we had just started, or I was in Act 1 or Act 1 to 2 when Jordan left, or when we recorded the last stuff with Jordan. And then since then, I've like played the game, played New Game Plus, started like watching the documentary behind the scenes stuff, learning about the people who made the game.
Yeah.
And then I was like looking into the games that inspired it, and one of them was Final Fantasy X, and I had never played Final Fantasy X. I played 7 and 9 when I was younger, and then 3 when it came out on DS. And so I was like kind of a little bit in. I played a little bit of 6 just because it was like so hyped up, but never 10. And I don't know.
Really?
I don't know why. Well, the main reason I didn't have a PS2.
Oh,
Yeah, and that was the main thing. I was like a GameCube kid, and then the street neighbor Malcolm had the PS2, and so we would play PS2 games over. I would just kind of watch him play, and I think I watched him play a little bit of Final Fantasy X. But let me tell you, I'm now 50 hours into it. Good game.
Oh yeah,
Good. It is older than Peeps. I like looked this up. Wait, what? Am I allowed to ask that?
Yeah.
Isn't that like an HR violation? Are you not supposed to ask people?
We've talked about it before.
We talked about it. I'm giving you permission to ask me.
What year were you born?
2002.
See, the year after Final Fantasy X.
Oh, that's my sophomore year of high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But
when you walked in, you were doing that Chocobo challenge, and that is one of my biggest pet peeves. There's two pet peeves I have around these. I hate when like big strong weapons are attached to a mini game that doesn't have anything to do with the actual gameplay, and I hate when achievements are locked behind like where it's like to get all the achievements you have to get gold in every one of these like mini games. And it's like that's why like I think Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 have the best like trophy achievement system. Like those are the only games I platinum, because it's like if you participate in all of the things, and if you find like I'm down to go and find all the little knickknacks. Don't make me have to be the best at this side thing. And like arguably like theirs is like a fight battle, and it's like a fight battle. Yeah, theirs is like a battle simulator kind of mini game. But I'm like, no, I don't want to have to get gold in that. I don't want to have to sink. Like make me explore your world, but don't make me have to
I'll play
that good.
I'll play devil's advocate, and then I will hard agree with you. So first I'll say that there are a lot of the ultimate weapons in this game, which I don't mind. I was almost going to say no spoilers, but this game is older than Peeps, so I think I'm allowed. But yeah, so one of the they put a complete like side mini game where there's a sport called blitzball.
Yeah.
And you play blitzball, and it's one of the ways that you get one of the best weapons for one of the characters.
Yeah.
And you can play in like a league, and you can recruit players. And blitzball is like so fleshed out that I'm actually fine with it, because it's basically like they've just put FIFA in the game.
Yeah.
And because it's basically water soccer where you're like just underwater. This Chocobo bullshit. Oh, there's also one where there's an area called the Thunder Plains where you can hit X to like dodge lightning. Yeah. And they're like one of the weapons is locked behind consecutively dodging the lightning like 200 times. There's like a challenge where you like, and like that is just like, come on.
Yeah.
But the thing that pisses me off about this Chocobo shit is, and I'm sure there are people that played this game back in the day that get this, is that like in order to get the thing that you need for one of Tidus's celestial weapon or whatever, is you're riding a Chocobo against this other person, and you need to hit these balloons. And if you get the balloons, they like knock some time off of your score. So if you get enough balloons, then it can knock your score down to 0. However, there's a complicating factor, which is your score is also impacted by these birds that can fly out and hit you,
which I witnessed happen quite a few times.
And the problem is that the orientations of the balloons are randomized. Like there's a handful of set things that it is randomized between, and some of them it is just impossible to get certain balloons. So you have a low chance, if not a 0 chance, of actually getting a perfect run, which you would need to get the weapon. The other aspect of it is that the camera is moving on its own. Also, the game will bump. There's invisible walls where when the camera's moving, it will like bump you the opposite like another direction that you're not choosing to go. So there's so many things that are out of your control, on top of the fact that these birds are so random in how they spawn. I think I've been at it for like an hour and a half or more, and I almost had a run that was going to be perfect, and I got 2 pixels away from the finish line. and 3 birds spawned out of nowhere, hit me, I was stun locked, hit me again, I was stun locked, hit me again. And that is like so rare to happen that I like stood up and I said, oh man, like it was frustrating.
That's the very sweet.
But the way that people describe it is like you kind of just have to keep doing it until you get good enough RNG that the bad things don't happen. And that way it kind of feels like speed running, where everybody who's speed running like has the skill to get or when you're a good speedrunner, you have the skill to get a good time, but sometimes there's RNG elements where like I need like a 1 in 4 to even be on pace for the best thing possible to happen. And then I need to get lucky over here, and then I need to get lucky over there. And it takes like 30, 40 seconds to go through one of these runs.
Yeah,
but it's ooh-wee.
But you're gonna get it soon.
I'll get it, and then I'll be really happy about it. But I don't know if. But Blitzball, I'm down with, because it's like a fun game, and there's skill to it, and there's like, it feels like you're playing a soccer game or something like that.
When Final Fantasy, that set was announced, I was
Magic the Gathering.
Magic the Gathering. I was deep in the lab thinking of a Blitzball-esque kind of like sub game to make with Magic, and I've been like, oh, I need to replay it, really hit all the points.
It's really like once I got used to, because I was just playing like modern games, where the graphics are just better because it's a different time. But there is a lot of charm. And I didn't think that I would feel that charm for old pics. Like when you look at like SNES games, they age really well because pixel art is still an art form in gaming that is like appreciated. And while you can just have more pixels on the screen in modern games or indie games or whatever, there is like a beauty to the way that the pixel art is done in these older games. With early PS2 games where they're like just figuring it out, or like I guess PS1 is really where they're just figuring it out. Like Cloud looks like 7 triangles, you know?
Oh yeah.
But
you know what's funny about that is that when my sister and I played Final Fantasy VII when it first came out, we were obsessed with it. And we thought the cutscenes were so beautiful.
And they are.
We would pop in a VHS tape and record.
That's awesome.
Had our VCR hooked up to our PlayStation, so we could like record the cutscenes.
There's a couple of things about that. One, if I played this game on a PS2 with a CRT or like old TV, it would look better than it does on like these LCD screens.
Just getting ready to jump into that because I've been on my retro game. So I went to something called Too Many Games Fest to do Faster Purple Worm, and the first thing I said when I walked in, I was like, Jarvis, if we can't go to that place.
You brought your PSP and your Game Boy.
I bought a PSP and a Game Boy. The PSP is just such a frustrating purchase too, because I did Falula Borg has like a gaming show, and I did it, and they gave
my Falula impression.
They gave like for doing it a modded PSP. They sent it through the Uber system, and I was in a meeting, even though like Falula was like, you have to wait out to get it, and of course I was like, no, I can do 2 things at once. I couldn't. I never got it, and I was so bummed because I got excited about having a PSP again. So then it's been on my mind. So I went and grabbed Crisis Core, because I also am like, I'm gonna go back and play the Final Fantasies. And then I saw the Game Boy SP, and I already have a GBA backlit from Etsy somewhere. I tried to find it because I couldn't find it. But then this was great and had the char symbol on it. Also, because the SPs are rechargeable, I don't have to worry about the AAA batteries I would need for the advanced, even the modded ones.
They mod them now with lithium ion batteries too. Like the modding communities, I'm so impressed by, because you can get a old school GBA like this. Like modded to have a lithium ion battery and a backlit screen that's bigger and higher, higher resolution.
But and also the modding, we can go off on that, because for my brother's birthday, we played Clone Hero, and so he had these modded like hero guitars with like LEDs in them.
Oh yeah, I got Clone Hero upstairs and my OG guitars that I just have an adapter for.
Yeah, but the newer ones have better switchers on them, so they feel better. And like I still have a bass that's sitting in my closet from the pandemic when I told myself I'd learn the bass, but I was like, oh, even though like a lot of these skills aren't transferable, like I can strengthen my fingers by just playing this more. And I like looked it up, and some guitar dude on Reddit was like, yeah, that's true, and that's about it. And I was like,
well, I know that's true because I used to be a little when I was a little rascal, I was like pretty good at Guitar Hero, and I used to like try to get 100% on all the songs and 5-star all the songs and stuff. And I passed through the Fire and Flames. I didn't get 5 stars on it because I didn't have time for that.
Yeah.
But when I got Clone Hero and I found in storage my old guitars, and I have the right generation. There's like the Gibson SG from Guitar Hero 3 is like considered one of the better like OEM controllers, and I still had one of those. And I loaded up Clone Hero and loaded up one of my favorite songs to play, which was The Metal by Tenacious D. And I had the like muscle memory of the dun 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 dun. Yeah. But I did it a few times, and then my freaking forearm was blazing hot. Like I was like, my muscle started to cramp up. I was like, oh no, is this what like athletes feel? Yeah. Not to compare myself to an athlete. This is like what athletes feel like when you like don't got it anymore. I was like, oh, I don't, my muscles aren't as strong as they were when I was a youth.
You busted your Achilles.
Yeah. You're like, oh man. But to back on what we were talking about, I got also Ocarina of Time because I never played it. Same reason. I was a PlayStation household. I never had an N64, never had a GameCube. I think I talked on an earlier episode when GameCube had the contest of like, what would you do for a GameCube? And like I said, I would oil.
I'd kill.
No, I was like, I would oil myself up and walk around asking for where the GameCube was, like true humiliation.
Right. I will do whatever humiliation ritual you want, Mr. Miyamoto.
I'm so glad they didn't pick it. But so I'm playing Ocarina of Time for the first time.
Where are you playing it? On what console?
I'm playing it on N64.
Oh, on the OG.
On the OG N64.
I was gonna say because we can talk about this later, but I replayed Ocarina of Time recently through an open source project that added a bunch of quality of life features.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you about it. I like, because I could spend a whole hour talking about it. We'll talk later.
Yeah, but anyway. I'm digging it so far, but it just looks not good, and not because the game itself looks good, but I finally hit the point where I was like, oh, this is that, because trying to use the component cables to HDMI hits a wall where it just doesn't look that good. And I think it is so clear in that game.
Yeah, you need some like high quality technology to get it to look decent.
I've looked it up, and like for a really decent one, it's like $300-$400, and I'm like, do I do this? Is this enough, or is this going to be a thing where I'm going to get hit with another deadline?
Something for free that I might talk to you about after the show.
You should just get like a $20 CRT.
Well, that's the
CRTs are harder to get than you think.
Really?
Yeah.
Just because you keep it safe.
No. Keep it.
I shouldn't say that on air.
Keep it to me. Give me that CRT.
Mainly just because like I know from the like Super Smash Brothers Melee community, because it's still very active. Like it's just we don't make them anymore.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so getting a good one
that
has like a high that has like a good like whatever the analog equivalent of a refresh rate is and
the
stuff.
Gauss.
Yeah, and like that kind of stuff is apparently a hot commodity. Like obviously they're a thing that you can simultaneously get for free off the street if you're like in the right place at the right time, and also go on eBay and overpay for one.
Do you think there has to be communities online that repair and like
for sure
100%.
And like, because
that's just
trick out these like old CRTs and
that's
stuff.
a whole like industry that existed until like flat screens took over.
Oh man, and I want to talk more about that, about refurbishing old technology. However, Anastasia earlier had an incredible.
Do you want me to say it again?
Yeah, say it again.
I think it was something along the lines of when you order your dessert.
No, give us a new one connected to Final Fantasy and old
okay,
video
let me
games.
think about this.
when you're playing okay, I got one.
Okay.
When you're playing retro video games with your partner, do you let them order what game you're gonna play for you?
How about this?
Okay.
Oh, we like retro video games. What about retro relationship dynamics?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, if I were a trad wife, my final fantasy would be that my husband orders my dessert for me.
Whoa! Let's talk about trad. Let's talk about trad wifeys.
This popped off on TikTok.
Yeah.
This woman, I think
we're
her
back to the
name
princess
is
treatment, which we had an episode about.
something Joelle. What's her name?
Joelle Embiid.
Yeah, her name is
She's
Joelle
7'2".
Embiid.
Yeah.
Courtney Joelle.
Courtney Joelle on TikTok. She's a trad wife. She talks about princess treatment a lot. Let's see what she has to say about dining out.
Okay,
right.
I like that.
Yeah.
Let's talk about princess treatment if you're at a restaurant and how you interact with the waitstaff and the hostess. If I am at a restaurant with my husband, I do not talk to the hostess. I do not open any doors, and I do not order my own food.
What? Why? She didn't say that in like a braggadocious way either. It felt like
It feels very practical, like here's how you do it.
yeah, like I don't.
It seems like, especially because it kind of starts off where it's like, okay, you're trying to know about what princess treatment is. Here's what it is. Already, right out the gate, like, yeah, this is a dom sub dynamic. Your doms. I think the only difference is subs will usually open the door for the dom, which was like a real like shift, and it really is like you do like I think that's the first thing I think that will get people kind of like looking at you where they're like
Do we think that like these people are, because there's a lot of like in those kind of dynamics in those communities, there's a lot of nomenclature and like terminology and like ways of being. Do we think that these people are like trad and then have like kind of reverse engineered the same like type of dynamics?
100%. I think it's a lot. We've seen this. This is right now we're going to focus on like the trad dynamic, but we've seen this countless times on the internet where people are just rediscovering something that has always existed, but they did it through their means and without any like research or looking into it. Does this thing exist? And so they're like when where I think it happens to tech bros a lot, right? Where they're like, where it's like, me and my girlfriend has tried this thing where like once a week we'll grab some food, we'll share, how all of our week is going and make plans for the future, and people are like, that's a date.
You just reverse engineer
date night. And I
think
think
like, but also I'm the CEO of a Fortune 500 company,
where it's like you're like, and it's this idea where we're on the other cusp, because I think I've already alluded to my how let me Google that for you ruin the internet, but we're on the next step where, because and not to just to do a quick summary, I feel like the insistence of using Google for all of your information kind of led to people being like, oh, with Google, I'm an expert at anything, so I don't need to consult anyone. And now we're on the next stage of this where it's like, well, as an expert, not needing to consult anyone, let me start inventing things.
Yeah, but ChatGPT is the next frontier of that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and she's like repackaging it, right? Because she's calling it princess treatment, which implies, and I've already watched this, but she implies that she is the important one. She's the princess. She's being catered to.
I'm glad that you brought that up, because I'm actually glad I'm here to kind of talk about this, because I think that because of the kind of visuals of a dom sub relationship, there is like an idea of who's in control, but it is and has always been the subs make the rules. Before you enter any dom sub dynamic, you're going to negotiate and see what's happening, but it all's like you're dominant, and of course, it's not one size fits all, but like you're negotiating how you want it to work. But like at any time, your sub can be like, I'm not into this, or I'm out, or safe word. And vice versa, of course, but typically, like, I think there's this idea of like it's seeming like they make the rules. It's like, yeah, even in a dom sub dynamic, the sub is kind of like setting the rules and what is going to happen. Like, it is a negotiation. You're doing it together, but like, yeah, my golden rule when anyone's ever asking or like is interested in that space, I always say, it has and will always be, because I think the best way to think about it is this is like this is something I've always been like interested in the lifestyle since like I was like 18, but as a singular like person trying to be dominant, you just can't do it. And I very much didn't want to be someone who just started doing it when I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I wanted to make sure. So it wasn't until like I started dating someone who's been a service sub, has been in the lifestyle, who can kind of be like, this is how it all works.
You got to intern under someone who's done the let's hear what else she's got to say.
Yeah.
And he goes to park the car, what do you do? Or if it's raining or something like that, and he wants you to put your name down. And I had a very similar situation.
Wait a second. So people are like, oh, I might have to do something.
Yeah, they're like, how does this work on a realistic level of like, so he has to park the car, he has to open the door for you, he has to do all this stuff, but what if it's raining and he has to drop you off? Do you just stand there and do nothing?
Yeah.
And she's saying yes.
Yeah, of course. What would we ask her to do something?
But
she's a princess.
It gets a little weirder.
It's like that improv game where like the actors just stand there and someone has to move all of their limbs for them. Like you can't do anything until you move their arm.
We didn't have a reservation, so we wanted to go up and see if it was possible for us to get in. He pulled the car up at the valet station. I stayed in the car. He got out of the car, told the valet, I'm just going to run in and ask a question. I'm going to leave my car here. I sat in the car while he ran in and asked them. They said, yeah, we have space for you. And then my husband said, okay, I'm going to go get my wife, and then I'm going to park the car. So he comes back out, opens my car door, walks me into the restaurant, opens the door, and I stand and wait. I did not make eye contact with the hostess. I did not talk to her. I waited until my husband came back.
When you're not making eye contact, are you like looking down in shame?
Yeah, that's the part that bumps me is, so you're not like, why not? You're just standing there silently looking down, not making eye contact with the hostess. The hostess is like, I can seat you, and you're just kind of ignoring them.
Away.
And like that seems just like
it's
rude.
like how I teach Dipper to like not eat a steak that's like sitting on the table.
Yeah,
it's like look away, don't sniff it.
If I were a hostess and a woman came in and she won't look at me, she's just looking down, she won't talk to anyone, and the husband's like, I'm doing this, my thought is gonna go, is she safe?
Yes.
Yeah. That's what my thought's gonna be.
Because it starts to feel like, are you in any danger?
Yeah.
Because it feels. The normal thing, I guess, if anyone's curious, would just be like, "Oh, I'm just waiting for my partner."
Yeah.
Is that not princess treatment?
Yeah.
The princess treatment is to be completely with no agency.
I imagine that if I'm just kind of guessing from the context clues, that the appeal of this is just being able to be head empty and just vibe.
Right, and so right. And that's the what people kind of idealize about it.
Yeah, and I feel like, like in that position, if I was the host, I think my first instinct would be like, oh, she must be like European or something. She doesn't I saw this head down. But yeah, I do think there's like this element that's like, oh, that's weird. Like what's happening here? And I think that's why there's like such a big, conversation about like, where you do your like kink dynamics, right? Because now everyone is, once again, these are people who don't think they're doing kink stuff, but this is like what we're going to get into is just the repurposing of a lot of kink stuff here. And it is like very much like that is why, it is like day collars exist, which will come up and things like that, where it's like that is, but I think this is on that line where, because some people are like, you shouldn't be doing any of that because now you've involved it. But I think there's a certain element of like, we're always going to be interacting with people. I think the involvement becomes when it's like OD, when it's like leashed, and when it's like you're doing like humiliation, commands in a public space that everyone isn't consenting to. But I think this will always just roll off as like a weird couple, because I think there are couples who aren't doing this that have this kind of energy anyway.
It would almost make more sense to me if I understood that there was some sort of gratification that she was getting out of the inaction, because it is being painted like it is like subservience rather than like the princess treatment.
Yeah, that's
you know what I mean?
That's why I think it's
Well,
interesting
also,
that she's packaged it as the princess.
It is worth noting that princess is a kink term. That is a like sub dynamic. So like princess is very much what ironically what she's describing, because it's the idea of like you're royalty, you don't have to do anything.
Right.
That
and
makes
so
sense.
I'm like going to, stand up and do all this.
So and the only thing I'll add is just that we talked about like someone had like a course about the princess treatment.
Yeah.
And it was about just getting guys to do things for you.
Yeah.
Which felt a little bit more, I guess, mainstream. Like it felt more like, oh, I saw a rom-com and this is what a Prince Charming will do.
Yeah.
But this, maybe it's just like her tone.
It also reminds me, I guess this is maybe a princess doesn't talk to the servants, right?
Yeah.
So maybe she thinks of the hostess as a servant.
I think it's that
like
much
they're beneath
elevated.
me,
Yeah.
so I'm not making eye contact with you
like
because you're one of my subjects.
Like at this point, it's all perspective, right? Because it's like you're saying subservience, but like in her eyes, her husband is being subservient to her and is handling all this business. Like she's not going to do any of the peer-to-peer. She's not going to talk to him. She's just going to sit there and she's going to look down until she's in front of her dinner. And I guess we'll find out what happens.
Yeah. Okay.
Next.
I'm locked in. I'm curious where this goes.
Let's say it's raining. You already have a reservation, okay? Your husband's going to pull you up to the restaurant. He's going to get out, open your door. He's going to walk you to the restaurant door, open the door, and walk you in. He's probably then going to leave to go park the car, or he's going to go exchange whatever he needs to do with the valet. You're just going to stand in the lobby or whatever the space is, and you're going to wait for your husband to come back. You're not going to go up to the hostess and give the reservation name. You're not going to talk to her. This isn't out of like I'm better than them and I don't need to talk to them and I don't need to,
I thought that's what being a princess was about. What is it about? Well, no, I'll let her, before we chime in, I will let her say it's not this that you've been thinking.
Yeah.
What is it?
Like it's not in any sense like you're better than the hostess. You're just letting your husband lead and be masculine. He made the reservation. He's taking you out. Let him do the logistics.
It's so funny to me that like, when we talk about like fragile male ego and stuff like that, the concept of letting him be masculine almost feels like it makes him
undermines it. Yeah.
Oh no, you can be you can be big, strong man.
Yeah. We're gonna let you be masculine right now.
Why don't you go tell the hostess about her?
I think it's the perfect way to talk about masculinity. I'm like, yeah, hell yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah, and she's also saying like, oh, it's not about I'm better than the hostess or whatever, but you're wanting the princess treatment from your husband, but expecting it from everyone. You're expecting everyone to follow it.
Yeah,
Well,
what you were saying about other people don't consent to this
but to me, I'm like this. I don't think it is neither here nor there whether or not she talks to the hostess or not. I don't think there's necessary participation here yet. It's just this person's just standing there and waiting.
It's just like being a little weird.
Yeah.
But like in how it could be viewed from the outside, because if I'm a service worker and someone comes in and they're clearly waiting for somebody, that's a normal thing.
Also, yeah, because I was saying, I think that it's only weird now just because of the labeling and everything we know that comes with it.
Saying you're not doing eye contact.
If we're just sitting in like a lobby, like waiting to be seated, and we saw someone walk their wife in and she just stood there while he went and then came back and then they went up, we'd be like, oh yeah, she just like I think it's just because there's already a label attached to it that we know it's attached to this princess thing. It inherently is making this thing weird that I think would be normal. I think I see it often, even people with not, where it's like, oh yeah, my husband took care of the reservations, probably aren't, staring at the floor, but it's the same energy of like, I'm not going up to the hostess. I'm waiting till he comes back.
My sister actually does this with me because she's very shy.
Yeah.
And so like, she just was like, I'm going to let you talk to strangers.
I used to do that with my good friend Russell's parents. I would have him talk to his parents because I was scared. I would just sit there and I wouldn't make eye contact. And then I'd be like, Jarvis wants a sandwich.
That's very funny.
It was called the Prince treatment.
Yeah. That was the Prince Jarvis.
You're just being a princess. It's not because you're being hoity-toity. You're just letting your husband lead.
A princess is being hoity-toity.
And letting him take care of it. So if I don't even know another situation where you would need to be dropped off, usually there's a valet, so you can both get out together.
She's like trying to deal so hard with the logistics.
I know, like there's like we can move past the car parking.
And
it
also
is very much,
stop saying you.
Yeah.
Say this is what I do.
Well,
like
right.
she's
but this is prescriptive. Yeah, but by definition. She's like, let me tell you how to do it.
Yeah, because it seems like this is in response. Yeah. So, you know, I don't think she's going to pay the 2.
Another huge part of the princess treatment is, I don't know if we specifically talked about this, but the over need to like talk and fill space. Like you don't need to talk unless you are spoken to. And then if you are spoken to and asked, you just say, oh.
I know, that's funny.
What?
Yeah.
Like, well, okay, you don't need to talk unless you're spoken to. What aspect of that is princess treatment? That's what I don't understand. Okay, but I'm like, let her continue.
I'm just waiting for my husband, and then he'll be able to give the reservation. Or you can say, oh, I'm so sorry, I'm not sure. My husband will be back, and then you can ask him. You can say it in a very soft
just
and
like lying
way.
because you don't want to rob your masculine man of being the masculine guy who goes Johnson for 2.
I'm such a cuck. I'm so, once again, this is like weirdness because of the labeling, because it's like, because like to me it makes sense of like waiting till everyone's there till you get taken. Like once again,
it's very practical.
Yeah. So like all these things, like she'd be like, oh no, we're waiting for my, like nothing is
it's like, but instead she's like, oh, I don't know, I guess I'll just have to wait for the man.
Well, it's like in the act of it, that's not happening. It's just in the description of it. She's like, so this is why I'm doing this. But I'm like, that's typically what most people would do in this situation.
Yeah.
I know this is going to be ripped apart. People just take things seriously such the wrong way, but
wait, hold on, pause.
Got us.
People just take things. I'm about to pick that apart. People take things seriously in such the wrong way. So are we not supposed to be taking you answering this person? Because I'm genuinely just trying to understand.
Well, to me, this is what. So this at this point in the video is where it does. Now we're like, this is more fodder for the overall discussion, which is like, is this kink? Because to me, that says like, you are doing, this is a recreational thing.
Also, if you're both consenting adults and this is your vibe, who cares?
Oh yeah.
But I think it's more the like projecting it as this, like usually, and I'm not saying that she's doing this because I don't know the rest of her content. We can talk about that later. But when people are like, this is the ideal, when that woman was like, ladies, this is how you get a man to do things for you, and I'm selling a course, like that's where it's like, okay, a larger issue.
I do think even the fact that she's like, you do this, don't do this, it is a little clear that she thinks other people should do this, and it's not just her.
To give her benefit of the doubt, that person was asking a question, and I imagined, because I ain't gonna read all that, but I imagine what they're saying was, I want to do what you do. What do you do in this situation? And that's why she's doing it this way. Because I haven't got, again, I'm down to watch more of her stuff and figure out what her whole vibe is. But right now, it feels like she's explaining how she views things. And it doesn't feel like when she's speaking, it sounds like she's speaking to the person who originally asked the question rather than like preaching. But maybe I'm just being too nice.
Look, this is just kind of the other end of what we talked about last time out here, where like we're at the point of late stage capitalism where even aesthetics are for sale. And like, so like, this is like, she's just kind of talking to this person, but you're right. This is a presentation for anyone who would like to join in on this. And so, we'll watch this, and I'm very curious to see what links she has, but sorry, let's go.
So if you're sitting down, you're ordering. In New York, for the most part, the waiter would come up, they would ask, whatever, my husband would start to speak, and then the waiter would address them, and the waiter would get the hint and only then interact with my husband. Here in Salt Lake, they don't quite get it. I think they think that I'm like,
you're in where?
Salt Lake. Not a surprise, but
oppressed, or I don't know.
Wait. She's implying that people think that she's in trouble, which is the thing that like we kind of Wait, okay, back up maybe just a little tinge.
Here in Salt Lake, they don't quite get it. I think they think that I'm like being, oppressed or I don't know.
Like, of course, because New York has a bunch of people living the lifestyle. They're like, oh yeah, this is another one of those kinky couples, like, and you're now in Salt Lake, which is like, the more kind of like progressive part of Utah, and they want you to kind of have a voice, because like, yeah, societally, people just order what they want. So it's
Plus, I think a lot of dining experiences in New York are old-fashioned.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the appeal of them, is they're like, we're going to give you an old-fashioned dining experience. So the man orders for the table, also, or one person orders for the table.
I will say, and I don't think there's a, I don't think this has been the case for me, like exclusively in a dating context, but also just with friends. Sometimes you like talk about what everybody wants, and then one person says everything for the convenience of it all. Or maybe it's like, I'm the one with the menu, or
we're going to share, so I'm just going to order for everyone.
Yeah.
The meal captain.
Yeah, sometimes you're just the meal captain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
and
Jess
then
McKenna.
I'm going to say we want 22 mozzarella sticks.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, no, what?
No, that's what I want.
They'll be like, what can I get you to eat? And I will just look at my husband. Like, if they address me first, I will just look at my husband and let my husband order. He'll say, oh, she's da 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 da. And then if they have a follow-up question, like, oh, do you want it like this? Sometimes I will answer.
People like you.
Let's say I think maybe my husband doesn't know what I would want. I will then address the waiter. But it's almost like they keep trying to like get me to speak. And I'm like, no, I want him to order for me. I like when he orders for me. It's not that I'm not capable of ordering for myself. It's just fun. It's just a fun princess treatment.
But also,
okay, so it's just, thank you.
But
I was hoping that at some point you would just say that it was fun.
Well, that's the thing I called out in the middle, where it's like it's very much. But also, I was like, it is funny because it's like, I think if you're, because we've established that you will say some things. You will speak sometimes. I think a part of this princess play, you can very much, if you're running into this issue, turn to the waiter or waitress and say,
go, I'm a kinky freak.
No, you could just simply say, he's going to be ordering for me.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to worry about them turning towards you. But,
and I've had friends who said, I'm going to order for the table.
Yeah.
Like when we're doing a shared situation or whatever.
Which is another thing. Like, to me, that is more of a communication breakdown than like weird not getting it.
Yeah, there's
it's
like less cagey ways to set the waiter
you
up
can
to
literally,
not.
I've done that many times where it's like, I'm going to be ordering for everyone.
Absolutely.
So I think
But I will say that when we first started this, I like wasn't full, because the way that she is talking about the princess treatment is different than the other person
lady
that we talked to. And I wasn't fully on board based on that experience that this was a kink thing. But at this, when she said like, oh no, this is just fun. This is what I enjoy. I'm like, oh yeah, of course. Like, obviously I believed what you were saying, but it's like, oh, she admitted.
Oh yeah, but it was like
that's all this has to be.
To me, it was loaded in everything she was saying. Right. You know, like it is.
But you're more fluent in that like arena, and for me, it's like it doesn't necessarily like immediately
also,
catch.
I don't know. I don't know this creator.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure if you said, "Oh, this is a kink," she'd be like, "No,
no,
I don't know." I don't think they.
I would just enjoy.
Yeah, no, they don't think. I am firmly like they don't think they're doing something kinky. I think they're thinking it's fun to be traditional because they think that, like, even in the way that she's kind of describing the waitress daring to like consider her opinions, she's like, in this world where masculinity isn't like such and such, it's fun to just get this princess treatment and let my man be masculine for me. Like, I think it is like,
like a little bit of role play. Like,
and the fact
I'm
that
Seymour and you're Yuna, and I'm like forcing you to marry me. And also I'm unsent, which means I'm like dead, but like not really. Yeah. Because I'm like my physical form is here. And anyway, we're enjoying this. We're all having fun.
But I do think like everything she's describing is not uncommon, right? It's like you have conversations with your partner, or you're with your partner long enough that you kind of have little routines like this. And it is, and it is like for your enjoyment, even if it's a kink, right? That is like something, it's like,
you are getting gratification.
Yeah,
out of it,
exactly.
Yes.
So this all
babe,
makes sense to me.
But also there's something worth noting that I feel like is worth mentioning in this discussion, where it's like, it could be a known kink thing that is being codenamed around just because the way most social media sites treat sex.
True.
Yes.
Like if this was a kink thing, she wouldn't be able to talk about it freely before TikTok shuts it down and would put whatever bullshit they want to.
She probably gets more eyes on it by calling it trad wife.
Well, it's funny because it does once again bring us back to the Ashton Hall situation, where it's like, we are now in this era where like the creating this like faux world that people are going to be angry with is going to get more eyes because we're on algorithms that benefit
it's like
outrage
kayfabe.
and anger.
You're playing heel
kayfabe
to the world.
Yeah, and you're like in it, and it's so funny because I did a tweet recently on the bad site where I was like, and it was in reaction to something I saw where it's like, it's funny to me to watch people like do quote unquote rage bait, but then get really defensive. Whereas like makes me have more respect for people like this, and even like Ashton, where it's like you do the rage baity thing, but you lean into it because that's what you want. Yeah. Whereas like people are like, I'm gonna do the rage bait because it's gonna get people here, and then realize,
like, whoa, everybody's freaking out.
Yeah, what the heck? And then they'll be like, I was just posting rage bait, but then are responding to everything. I was like,
why are you guys so enraged?
Yeah. It's like you did that. That's what you wanted, but you didn't. You thought that it would get the repost and the dunks. You didn't know that people were going to be. And also, I think a lot of people, especially like when smaller accounts do it, don't realize how like it floods your notification, and you just can't interact with the site the same way. So sorry. Let's let this princess finish. That's what he says.
What happened to... Hey, by the way, if you're out there, I'm trying to give somebody the queen treatment. If you know what I'm saying.
We got an insight into what your dates are like with that role play you
yeah. Okay, so you're okay, babe. So you're Lady Unaleska, and I have to kill you.
Oh no.
And like I do it like begrudgingly, of course, because we're not sure if we can stop Sin without the final Aeon, but we don't want Yuna to sacrifice herself. So this is begrudging. And look, everyone in the party's really upset about like this whole situation because we've been taught praise Yevon our whole lives. But now that, push comes to shove, we really don't want to see Yuna sacrifice herself on her final pilgrimage. So anyway, you're huge boobs.
Well, also, while we're on this X tangent, something that I think is never really said in the like Titus pronunciation and why it's pronounced Titus instead of Titus. So Yuna is, Onokawan for the moon, and Tita is Onokawan for the sun. So it's like supposed to be a sun moon. So Titus.
Oh, that does make sense because you need items like the sun crest for Titus's weapon.
But like that's why it's like, it makes
chocobos.
sense. It makes sense that it's Titus when you have that explanation. But everyone just said, no, that's just because they said it that way. And I was like,
no, because Titus, like the tides, because there's so much water.
Yeah.
No, but I actually that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it does. And I immediately stopped because I was a Titus guy myself. Yeah. And because like for me, when they're like, well, because it says it in this dub, and I'm like, well, with localization, like I can't trust it, And then I saw now. Not where the voice actor was like, it's Titus. Like that would have shut me up, but I didn't see that until now. But anyway.
All right, back to the princess treatment. Sorry, I had to get into my like little role play stuff. It's just something I enjoy with my partners.
It makes me feel special. It makes me just feel like over the top taken care of. So if the waiter addresses you first, I will simply just look at my husband, and then my husband will order. Again, you don't need to over exert yourself.
Well, hold on. If the whole thing is about the way that makes you feel, wouldn't it be individual on what level to which they're comfortable, like what they want? Really?
But I think it's that tricky thing you have where you're describing how something works for you, but also are being prescriptive.
You're being prescriptive,
it's like it's the why, but it's like, you know, still kind of giving that info.
This is a great reminder just for anybody listening to this that it is almost always better to speak from personal experience rather than to prescribe, to say like, you need to do this, you need to do X, rather to say it's helped me or that in my experience, because people don't like to be bossed around unless that's their kink. And this is in a specific scenario where you want that, but also like it allows space for the fact that people are different. And every time she goes, this is something I enjoy, I go, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like, and then when it goes back to now you need to not make eye contact.
But it's very interesting, right? Because it's like for specifically what she's selling, that is what it is, you know, like, it's just like, you know, and it's like, if you want to live, like, if you want to live my lifestyle, you need to do these things.
Right.
But I think you're right in the sense where it's like, there isn't a singular way to do this. So, but I think there's that something that is often, I think, forgotten is that like that giving that I was going to say suspension of disbelief, but that's not what I'm thinking of. Benefit of the doubt, where you know, based on the subject of the video and the context clues, that everything she's saying is in regards to doing it like her. I think that being personalizing everything when being prescriptive is an effect of how the internet engages with content. Where it's like, if I'm sitting down and watching this based on this context clues, I know she doesn't mean this is for everyone. She is talking about if we're doing this, but because nuance is dead, I can now pick apart where it's like, well, you said...
I'm also the main character, so if anything hits me wrong, it must be a slight to me specifically.
I also wonder if she's not doing it on purpose, only because of the fact that now this video, apparently she's been a content creator for a long time. I've never heard of her. But this video has gone so viral that tons of people have heard of her now. And it's like that rage bait thing where it's like almost better that she kind of made it prescriptive because
it depends on what her goals are.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Because if she's trying to elicit rage, then being more prescriptive and more like extreme on like a spectrum is always going to get a more larger reaction.
Is funny because I think that the level of what quote unquote extreme is has gotten smaller, because this doesn't seem extreme to me. This seems like something I would get to the bottom of. It's like, all right, well, none of that's for me.
When I say extreme, I mean more speaking in absolutes.
Yeah.
Because if you account for nuance in a take, then the reaction is always going to be lesser than if you say this is the worst thing, this is the best thing.
Yeah.
This has to be the way thing. If a man ever does X, then you should dump him. And then everyone's thinking, oh, well, there's so many. But my guy does that. And blah, blah. And so like, I don't know what the sentiment of the reaction to this is yet. But it does have very few comments to likes ratio, which is interesting. But then the main thing is just like, that I would guess is the reason that it went viral is the like how she interacts with other people in service of this thing that like makes her happy. It's like, oh no, well, so he has to do everything.
Yeah.
And that's a cool thing that I like, but it's presented as a thing that you should all like and that's normal. And then it's so weird how these people in Salt Lake City don't get it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's finish this up.
You can be feminine and soft and quiet. The most elegant, lovely women are often soft-spoken and don't.
Okay, that's where it's like...
Chill. Being soft-spoken doesn't mean like I refuse to say the name of our reservation.
Be like, I like doing this, but not being like, you're not elegant.
The most elegant women, chill. That's your personal opinion. And obviously, this is what I mean. you say the most elegant women are this way, not in my personal opinion, the way that I view femininity.
Yeah.
All of those things would soften this blade.
Oh yeah, but
that doesn't get things to go viral.
Exactly. But also, like, if someone was saying that, I think IRL, we would just be like, oh, they're speaking on their opinion. You know what I mean? Whereas, like, because it's a presentational video, we're like, oh, then you mean this as law.
Well,
but
I also think, like, there is something to the fact that I know a lot of young people on TikTok who do take this as like, oh shoot, do I need to talk less?
Well, that's that. Once again, like I said, we're at this point of late stage capitalism where aesthetics are for sale. Like, think about like when we were younger, right? Where were we getting like our vibes, what we wanted to look like from? We were getting it from like TVs, movies, music videos, video games,
sports.
This is like in that realm, and so this is like an effect of that. And I don't think anyone has ever expected to have that kind of influence at a level as this lit.
Yeah.
You know, like you used to have to be like Michael Jackson to have that level of influence on like young minds.
Yeah.
But because TikTok is a peer-to-peer site where anyone can become a celebrity for a day with a singular video, you have this marketplace of aesthetics and ideas of how you want to be that is accessible to people who are constantly shopping for it.
Yeah.
So I get exactly what you mean, but it's almost like we are in a time where like I don't think she even realizes that. I think that most people are looking at the numbers and numbers go brr, you know, and it isn't until it's too late. And you know, maybe, you know, this is someone who like is posting things and trolling over all the comments and clicking on the comments to see how old they are and looking through their content and see how much they're implementing it to their life. That would be hard. But I do think that, you know, tastemakers are now more widespread than they were before.
Yeah. 100. I agree with that. If she wants another viral content idea, if she just did like an act out with her husband where they go to a restaurant and then she just keeps like deferring to him and like waiting and like looking down and stuff, that would also go viral, and not for the right reasons probably, but
also this
free content idea.
This is you know, is to me this is like, and I saw it was on the board, I don't think we'll get to it, but like stage 2 Nara Smith, right? Like this is the like other side of that aesthetic, right? Where the front aesthetic of Nara Smith is, at least from the content that has gone viral or has made it across my timeline, has been her cooking, her serving her family, her being in these modest outfits, making everything from scratch. And now we're in this one in a very similar like modest outfit, soft-spoken tones, not even when she's
that's what elegant women are.
Yeah, yes, well, even getting excited. It's this, and now it's like selling this kind of same aesthetic of being like this, and it probably, like, I think in the way that the internet kind of hyper sensationalizes and overblows things, it feels punk in its own way to be like, well, everyone is so individualistic and everyone is, you know, for some reason wants rights and the woke mind virus. So the thing that goes against the grain for that is to be more traditional.
Yeah. How can I subvert?
Yeah. How can I subvert?
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it enticing, where it's like everyone's trying to have blue hair and leather jackets. So I'm aware of
here's
this.
how I'll own the libs.
Yeah. And I don't even think
the early 2000s too. Like in the 90s, everyone was bleaching their hair.
Remember, this is a pendulum.
Yeah.
It's pinging, because when one popularizes, then the next one is going to go on the other side.
Yeah.
And I don't even think it's like to own the libs. I don't think, you know, younger people are even thinking about that. It's just like to what the masses are doing in their eyes. And if you're just like interacting with the internet,
because I'm not doing what everyone's
doing.
Yes,
exactly.
Let's run through the rest of this.
Lovely women are often soft-spoken and don't overspeak. They're not loud. Maybe let's also talk about that. You're not going to be laughing loudly, speaking loudly, demanding the attention of the room when you're at a restaurant. You're with your husband, your boyfriend, whoever, fiance. You're speaking to him, eye contact with him. The attention is kind of on him. You're not laughing so loudly that everyone in the room is looking at you, or speaking so loudly that everyone in the room is looking towards you.
like what's so funny about this is like there's like such an element to that idea that's so funny. Like to think that you would be in a restaurant, an active restaurant, and your laughter is demanding everyone's attention.
It is a little. I'm a loud laugher and loud talker. I don't think I've ever wanted attention in a restaurant. And that's not why. But it's so like laugher.
I'm the center of the universe.
Yeah, like
because like really, you laughing is gonna be what everyone's
gonna turn
their head.
Yeah. It's like no, it's like everyone's in their own conversation. Yes. But to me, it's like this very, like it's feeding into like the other side of this where like the man sitting there is like, she only notices me and no, this is the only thing. And yeah, it's so like. I try because like this is like to me someone is vocalizing and like very much like celebrating like something I consider like bad brain, where I am thinking like everyone's always paying attention, or if I'm talking about a certain thing, I want to. So like because that comes from the trauma of like having your chat logs given to an FBI agent giving your chat logs to your parents in front of you, and you never feeling like you ever have a sense of privacy in like conversation. And this flip version is like you don't want everyone paying attention to you.
Oh my God.
And yeah, it's very funny. Also, it would be so funny if we like scrolled in the restaurant she's going to is like a Dave and Buster's or Chili's.
This is Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah.
Take the napkin, put it in your lap immediately.
Okay. Now it's
you're not waiting.
Yeah.
You're not. Oh, sorry. You know what I mean?
Whoa.
This person sees Zoe Deschanel as an op. It's like you're not being adorkable.
You're not being adorkable. Everything's elegant. Everything's smooth.
Yeah.
All right, keep it going.
Oh, another thing at the coat check. Let's say it is raining. You have a coat on. Don't go up and wait and ask for the coat check. Wait for your husband. Let's say your husband's dropped you off early. Wait for your husband to come back, and then he can take your coat off and give it to the coat check. So anything really, you're just waiting for your husband to do it. And again, it's not because you can't. It's not because you're not able to, and it's not because you're better than anybody. It's just the fun part.
I stopped believing her about the not because you're better than everybody when she said elegant women are quiet.
Yeah. I honestly think she's contradicting herself because she says it's fun, but why is it fun?
Because I'm the best.
I think it's fun because she's acting like she's like play acting.
Right. That's what I was gonna say. Is like it's the role play aspect, and that's like in everything about this, because that to me like the idea of like elegant women or this is always like such an interesting dichotomy, because like when in the rare times that I'm in these like spaces with like, you know, rich people, like and you just see the way they interact, it's like it is always interesting to see like the like performance of what people think they act like, and like actually seeing them, and by this I mean like industry like parties, which isn't even like the upper echelon. I'm sure, you know, Jarvis in his tech days probably saw like, you know, other people
that's
richer
a different
than
type of performance though, because they're different standards.
Yeah, because it's new money.
Well, it's also just different values.
Yeah, different values.
What do the comments say here?
Yeah, let's.
Curious. Like, as a former server, they'd be concerned.
Yeah, that is the best.
Princess treatment. I'm looking for queen treatment. Queens speak for themselves. That's what I'm talking about, queens.
Yes.
This is a kink. Like, that's everything I've seen is like
a prisoner. It's giving hostage situation. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, you know, it's so interesting because like on the like I sit on such a like. When it comes to these things, this is when I've truly become like almost like true neutral, because I don't like agree, because like what's happening now is like you have a group of people who like are like instilling like their values, where it's like this is why this is
it's
I think this is But it's like this person has already said like I'm doing this because it's fun for me, and this is why I'm doing this.
Like, but I agree with Anastasia. They're mixing the message, unfortunately, and so I'm not surprised that people are
like in what ways do you feel like they're mixing the message?
Because well, go ahead.
It's fun because she's role playing being above other people.
Yeah,
but that's what.
also just like her like elegant women are this these like kind of more broad statements of like what is valuable versus what is not valuable.
That to me, I think that is less, you know, a statement about like her personally and more about the way that we've disconnected capitalism from like the way we look at luxury. Like I think luxury capitalism has made it a very good sell of like it's a little treat for yourself and it's fine and it's not about being better, but it is. It is. And I think what you're saying at its core is true, but I don't think that she personally knows this. I don't think this is like,
I think that I feel like we're giving her a lot of like benefit of the doubt when it comes to like this is a very personal like journey for her, and I think that that's true. Yeah. But where the message gets mixed is as she's answering someone else's question is being like very prescriptive about the way that she likes this whole thing to work out, and the language that she uses is dictating rather than like explaining her own experience. And I think that that's because you are, like I'm saying, everything that we're talking about is an effect of the internet. If this was a peer-to-peer conversation, if this was something, we would automatically give her the benefit of the doubt that she is speaking of her own experience.
I think I might even judge her more harshly if she were my friend and she were in front of me, because I would say, like, she's essentially saying, I am not a lovely woman.
Well, yes.
I'm not feminine.
Well, but yeah, exactly. And that is a question you would be able to pose and get an answer right away, right? As if we're in there, is like, if they're actually your friend and not just this horrible person who you didn't realize was horrible yet, they'd be like, no, what I'm saying is like, for this lifestyle, these are the rules that within it. And then you'd go, oh, and I think the way we like ingest content is if we're expecting that peer-to-peer where it's like, you have to immediately like address this instead of never once being like, well, what do you mean by this? Are you saying this? And she is in a way like doing that without, but not well. We're all three on this couch media trained. We've been on the internet a long while. And even though she's had this long history of it, this is probably like it seems like her biggest, like the most eyes she's gotten.
Yeah, sure.
So her version of what you're asking her to do is being like, I'm just doing this for me. It's fun. Because she doesn't know.
I'm just saying why people are reacting the way that they are. I'm not trying to say that I'm saying that she would get a different reaction if like things were, maybe the cards were played differently, but at the same time, she may have gotten the reaction that she wanted.
That may be true.
But then also, I don't think that you get, like, if you're creating content, that's the other side of that coin, where it's like, yes, we consume content in such a way that's like very impersonal and doesn't give someone like the benefit of the doubt. But I do feel like we gave this woman the benefit of the doubt, but also she is like the one creating the content, and that comes with like premeditation and, I agree. And a large like reach, right?
Oh, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Yeah. I think that it's the thing. I was like, I don't know if we talked about this in Night or not, but we're in an age where everything is accessible. We did talk about it at Night, because we talked to, when you see the genesis of someone becoming a content creator, and you notice that they've used their social media as a digital scrapbook, and then they switch to, now I'm this creator, and they don't have the tools, and they're doing this. And yes, I think I am like accidentally in trying to kind of more so see her side of things, taking a lot of agency away. Like, I think that people know what they're saying. There's power in the words, but I do think that there is, when you are trying to be prescriptive, and like, you probably shouldn't be like, most elegant women do this. Yeah. But I think that if you are not trained to talk to everyone every day, you're not considering the fact that it's like, in that situation, you need to be like, if you're like, in my opinion, most elegant people who I consider princesses do X, Y, Z.
Yeah, but I do think she believes what she's saying. So it's like
you think that she believes that
she believes that elegant women are not loud. When she I don't like don't see any reason not to believe.
No, I'm not saying she's not believing it. I'm not, but I'm like, so. You know, like that's my thing. Like
for sure, no,
elegant women are not.
But I do think that can also be reductive because you could say that about anything.
Exactly. That's why I'm like like what's an elegant woman? You know?
Oh no, yeah.
It's like to me, it's like that to be like obviously we know she's like there's a there's like purposeful inflammatory nature to like what she's doing, and like I think like. To be like an elegant woman is like, well, who are you basing it off of? Where are your, like there's so many questions that like disprove anything that she's saying.
And look, to your point, like we don't know what her motive is. She could be making rage bait.
Can we click her account and see what she's linking? I would love that.
Yeah, she does link to a shop page basically.
I mean,
but yeah, she's selling clothes and like home
headbands
goods and makeup.
Oh my gosh, it always leads back to this new age
this is
hippie
all just
stuff.
Like probably referral link stuff.
Yeah, because daily rituals, self-care, skincare.
But like, what is her? Oh wait, what does it say? A collection of my favorite princess things.
See, that's what I'm saying. You're selling an aesthetic. This is all to get people here and being like, I'm gonna get this.
I think overall she's a lifestyle influencer.
Yeah.
She has, I took a peek at her account and she has stuff that's like making the bed and my makeup routine and my daily routine. Like, but, it is like fairly trad wifey, but it's also more Nara Smith vibes.
And I was going to say this, I'm glad I said it before I saw this because I was getting ready to say, I don't think this person is good. I don't like to me, and it really ran home when we went to that main page and there were so many American flags because I try, ever since Ashton, I try and like, be more well-rounded in this. But to me, I think it leads back to everything we're talking about, where it's like the leading to perfection and masculine dominance. All this always has its hands in like fascism and and white supremacy,
or just like celebrating.
But I didn't want to start there. I wanted to start from a place, and just like the kink things. After like that whole page, and this is why we talked about, we click through, we see, we know it really is this like person who's like, I'm making this aesthetic to sell.
Oh, for sure. Of which like Nara Smith is like the final boss of that.
And I think you're right, because even if we're giving them the benefit of the doubt by saying most blankety blanks do blank, that is a tell on like a personality tell. Where
to be honest, I don't even think we're being that harsh. I think it's just like finding some inconsistencies in the like the message that she's making, and then seeing that, obviously people are dunking on her because the like kind of it's giving hostage, like that's the easy dunk. Yeah. And so all the people in the comments are not considering anything other than like, how do I serve my id in this moment? You know what I mean?
Like we were like, oh, this is a good topic for Iffy because I'm glad you're here for this, because so much of the internet discourse around this video was like, this is a kink, like this is, and I don't have the language to talk about that. And so it's like nice to hear someone be like, no, if she were in this community, she would be talking about this very differently.
Yeah. And I feel like I got lost in the sauce there in kind of the defensiveness I was holding was more for the kink community than this person. And it really is like and because I think I see a lot of the same language used on when people are just like openly talking about kink. It's like, and it's like, it's not for you. This is people trying to talk. But for this person, I think you're very much correct in the sense that it is someone who is like selling something, obviously.
Well, but like the thing is, I don't even find much wrong with doing this. Like having this as it's like, okay, it's someone whose content is like aesthetic trad wife content. they're getting to play around in this space. The only time that I guess take any issue is when it starts to be about like projecting onto other people.
Yeah.
Right. Cause like when it's
exactly.
Yeah.
I kind of got what you were saying there. Yeah. If you were just making this content, that's fine, but that's not what she's doing. I think what you have early called out, this is prescriptive. You are selling this lifestyle. And I think there's a danger here because something, Anastasia was talking about earlier, where it's like people are like taking this in and making it their personality, and then you go through their pages, all this American flag stuff, and it reminds me a lot of this kind of like space where there was this void for content for young males, and all they had were the Andrew Tates,
right?
And then you're and like I don't
or like
think,
people that like something that's reaching people where they are.
Well, and I think that people didn't immediately go to Andrew Tate because they're like, I want to go to Andrew Tate because I hate women and want right. They went to Andrew Tate because they're like, oh, I want to understand what it might be like to be a man. There's not that much content.
Or like, you have, I'm sad and I want to improve my life. Well, because
like it's like I have frustrations and things that I feel are problems in the world, and someone has solutions, and maybe I don't like the way that I think you see this with Trump a lot too, where it's like maybe they're rough around the edges. Maybe I don't like the way that they're saying these things, but they're speaking to what I feel are problems. Like why I feel that way, I'm not going to question. Why that feels like the problem, I'm not going to question. But these things seem like solutions to my problems, and I want solutions to my problems above all else.
Well, and like the fact that, a lot of people got into Joe Rogan because they were just like, oh, he works out, I want to work out more, blah, blah, blah. Or like, I have a friend who is into alien stuff. Like, oh, he talks about aliens a lot. Yeah. Like, cool.
Yeah.
I think Joe Rogan was a little more nefarious. Not nefarious. It was
insidious. Like because Jordan talks about it too, where he was like a fan just because of the like meathead vibe and.
Well, exactly. Well, there was an era. I used to be a Joe Rogan apologist because there was an era of Joe Rogan. I think I might have said this a million times on here before, where if he had, some like shitty person on who had him like, believing their BS, but then he had a smart person who came on, he was very public being like, you know what? I didn't consider this way. I'm changing my perspective. And I was like, I think that's the most important thing people can have. Even like in the course of like this episode, you watch the journey of talking it through and me kind of like coming to a better conclusion. I think that is probably some of the most important type of content to have out now, because we're in an age where people think you have to be, it's absolutes. You have to know it all. You have to be right. And if you're wrong, who matters?
Because you don't want to be in the marketplace of ideas.
Yeah. And you can't be seen as someone with it almost seems like you don't have a values if you change your opinion. And it's like you do. Yeah. And it's like, no, you do, because the values
you're actually open-minded to learning
and you're willing. Yeah, the values aren't changing. It is your opinion on something based on information. And I thought that was so important, especially with the community he had. And then he just slowly stopped having the smart, kind of like well-rounded people on. And it was just the same kind of alt-right people. And then it just like...
Well, yeah, it kind of comes back to this like capitalism thing and like how do things fit in the greater tapestry of our media landscape? Yeah. Like, well, it's like with Joe Rogan, it starts to feel, when you look at everything, if I look at a man having a conversation with someone he disagrees with, and that man is giving a lot of grace to someone who, let's say, is a conspiracy theorist and has a lot of harmful ideas, in one isolated incident, that I don't think it's hard to get so mad at that if the person has a reputation for coming into things with an open mind and hearing people out, etc. But in concert, when there is a trend and that trend is always like serves existing power structures and serves like the powers that be, like Joe Rogan, it's like he's has on the FBI director so that the FBI director can say his piece, and he has on Trump so Trump can say his piece. And it's conveniently difficult to get Kamala Harris on. And I'm not saying that like I'm a pro Kamala Harris thing, but it's just like conveniently angled towards where the power is. Yeah. And it doesn't feel like it challenges itself. And so with things like this, when it's an individual, I'm having my kink, or this is like my fun time and I'm cultivating this vibe, fine. But when it fits into a larger tapestry of tradwife content that is angling not just toward a like lifestyle thing, but also perpetuating gender roles for women. Like, for example, you need to not be loud. You need to do et cetera, et cetera. Even if it like is like princess and elegance and stuff, it seems to be in service of men in power and women in a subservient role, which is conveniently the thing that like, it's like how convenient that you've like reverse engineered all of these like you've idealized a time where women were powerless and men were all powerful, but it was cute. Yeah. You know, it's like homesteader vibes. It's like, oh, okay. It's like, well, sure, we had slaves, but look at like how cool this dress is.
It's the thing where you just remove the actual history from it, right? Where it's like, you know, it's easy to look back on those times and be like, oh man, it was such a good time for, you know, where men were masculine and you didn't have to do anything, and not look at the other things when you remove the history. It's how you can have these antebellum weddings and plantations, because you're removing the history. You're like, these homes look beautiful. Exactly. We're not going to talk about
but I like how cute it is, though. Yeah. Wait, no, but you're making me feel bad by talking about the bloodshed
that took place, the
horrific
very
human
feet
cost of these beautiful. What do you mean these beautiful
bodies.
Buildings have a human cost? Yeah, but they're so aesthetic.
Really quickly before we wrap up, can we talk about this
Ashton Hall thing? Yeah. Yes. So Ashton Hall did a brand activation. He's been everywhere. We talked about he had a very embarrassing showing against Aisha Speed, where he kept racing him and losing and coming up with new excuses. But he's been on his grind set, and I think this will end up with us on his side. Well, I actually don't know. Yeah. I don't know, because he was asked to do a like brand activation for Glenn Powell's new movie, The Running Man, I think it's called. Mm-hmm. And you know who runs in his content is Ashton Hall. Right. Yeah. So they tapped him. He's a guy of the moment. Yeah. Also, it's like a little bit past the moment where you'd call them for like a morning routine bit. If you saw a brand, if you saw like Walmart wanted to do a like morning routine ad, you'd be like, all right, just on time, Walmart. Mm-hmm. But I've heard bad things about this commercial or whatever bit he did. So can we pull that up?
Have you? Is this going to be your first time seeing it?
It will be my first time seeing it.
Oh man, I wish you would have
brain where I just save myself.
I wish you would have like hidden, because I would have loved for you to just see what was wrong with this, because that's how it was presented to me. Someone was like, "Oh yeah, I saw that." So let's go.
So I haven't actually seen it. Okay. I wonder if he ever got paid by the water company.
Saratoga.
Probably not. Damn. Hey, there's the disembodied woman. Oh, Glenn Powell, Running Man, on his document.
Yeah, yep. He was on a schedule.
Meets up with Glenn Powell at 9:02 a.m. Yeah, as always. Oh, weighted vest, I guess. Yeah. Secret powder. Like a post-workout drink.
Probably, probably something he's gonna get ready to sell.
We went from Instagram Reels to the big screen.
What? That's crazy. Okay, so I heard that there was chicken and watermelon involved. I was not expecting it to be randomly shoehorned into the end.
Yeah, so my big thought here is, I think that our first, so you know, y'all are, you know, the Sad Boys universe homies, and our first foray into Ashton Hall was like, what was he doing? What is the thought? And there was like this idea floated that, you know, his content before the morning videos were just regular workout content, and he was doing regular trends. He was doing all of the TikTok trends, and then eventually he did this morning workout thing that blew up, and it was because of its ridiculousness that it blew up. And so I do think y'all were right in the sense that someone got involved, helped him market, and of that same outrage thing, they knew that the running stuff was getting old, that what's something new? Oh, what if he has this ridiculously racial meal that is not served in this theater? I don't think that they serve.
Right, it's like, okay, there's a lot of things here, right? Okay, so first of all, the ad could have ended without this scene and it would have had the same effectiveness. So that's always a failure.
Yeah.
This is like, has to be purposeful rage bait because he posted it himself. I thought it was, you know, like when I heard about this, I thought it was something that they set up for him, but I no longer think that because in what universe does the brand manager at whatever marketing firm suggest something like this? Because it doesn't have any connection. Well, I don't know what the Running Man movie is about.
Can I talk to you about the movie?
Yeah.
So this is actually based on a novel by Stephen King, a 1982 novel, and there was actually a 1987 film starring
Dennis
Arnold Schwarzenegger. And
Dennis Rodman, I remember.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the remake is directed by Edgar Wright, stars Glenn Powell, Josh Brolin, Coleman Domingo. Okay. I love him. Lee Pace.
Is he one of those Coleman Domingo? Is that one of those fried chicken watermelon loving guys?
Yeah, here's the thing. I love, you know, Edgar Wright, so I'm sure this is going to work out. But to me, it's always funny when they're like, we're going to redo something we've done. Yes. And I'm like, there's like two missing like dynamics of it where it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger was like the biggest, like to me, the version of this, if you were remaking it, was going to be like John Cena and like LeBron James or like a basketball player.
Someone who's like
also
larger
Jesse
than...
the Body Ventura was in the 1987 movie.
Yeah, but he's bad.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, put a wrestler in there.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But so
we could put
premise-
Kevin Nash. He just told someone to shut their cracker ass up. It was so funny.
Okay, the premise is it's a game show called The Running Man that has people chased by murderous hunters across the world to win money. It's a dark comedy.
So where does the watermelon and chicken come in?
Not a thing.
Got it.
Well, it's like the whole concept is it's this dystopian future where somebody like is down on their luck, and so it's like it's essentially
it's like Squid Game.
It's like Squid Game before Squid Game. It did that. So for me, it's like once again Edgar Wright. You know,
I like Edgar Wright.
I love Edgar Wright. He's one of my favorite directors. I'm up there with I like Ari Aster. Obviously, Coogler is goated. You know, so but like.
Is he one of those fried chicken and watermelon type films? Yeah. Sorry, I'm just gonna do that about every black person we mention.
Yeah. So so are you reading this in the sense that this will give us context, or you just?
I didn't know anything about the movie.
You didn't?
I didn't know.
You didn't know about the first one?
I didn't know about the first one. I did know that Arnold Schwarzenegger and Rodman were in a movie together.
Yeah, so this was the movie.
About.
Yeah.
So a lot of my observations. He obviously did this for rage bait, but at what cost? That is always the thing.
Oh, well, that was my next thing. Was going to be like, I know that they had to have been in a fight with the brand team. There's no way.
I was going to say, Paramount Pictures, who is putting out Running Man, are they mad about this?
Oh, how many black people do you think are on that marketing team? I think that...
I know, but they hate controversy is the problem.
But my issue, I don't think they're happy. I just don't think that...
It's their place to tell him to...
Yes, that, and then also that it got flagged subconsciously to someone. That would be my concern.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, like where they're like, I don't want to call this out because maybe this is like a thing he does. But to me, I was like, as someone like, typically when you do something branded like this, especially with a big company like this, they oversee like the final cut. Like you show.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean is just that like, I think that they would say something if they had the awareness to.
Yeah.
But I actually just don't think that anyone in the room. It didn't click
in their heads.
It did not clock to them that he was standing on business. Okay, sorry. The other observation. Here's the thing that should have clocked to them. Yeah. Why is Ashton Hall walking into an empty movie theater? Yeah. An empty movie theater to see our brand new movie?
It should be packed.
It should be packed.
He should have had to wait in line.
Yeah.
Well, because I'm sure like were able to subvert those notes by being like, that's just the aesthetic. He always is alone in his like ventures. Sure. But like, it is like, because it's like, and here's what they probably responded, because Ashton Hall rents out the whole movie theater.
Oh,
yeah. Like,
okay, I'm with that. I'm with that. I didn't. I think that just the visual though, still of a like, I'm trying to dumb it down a little bit.
Yeah.
The visual of an empty movie theater doesn't sell the experience of a movie to me.
Yeah.
The other thing that is kind of funny to me, and maybe someone didn't flag fried chicken and watermelon as a potential marketing risk or brand risk, but what I'm surprised wasn't flagged is, hey, how about popcorn?
Yeah.
Like a famously associated with movie treat.
Also, Glenn Powell was in this for 1 second.
Well, that is because Glenn Powell's a very busy man. He's got to be in 9 other movies.
He shot longer than what he shows. Like, give me a whole video with Glenn Powell.
In the push-up thing, Glenn Powell probably lasts longer than he does before he needs a break, and he's like, he's cutting that off. Like, to me, the Glenn Powell stuff read to me as like, I can't have Glenn Powell looking stronger than me. I need to look
like I can hang with Glenn Powell for 10 seconds. Trailer, just the trailer?
Yeah, he's just seeing the trailer.
Oh, so he's going to watch something else. He's going
to annihilate that bowl of chicken and watermelon.
He's actually at a showing
in
for
2 minutes.
Hope You're Eating This with Chicken and Watermelon. Movie.
Because you saw how they did I think it was the Dolphins kind of had Ashton Hall I stopped
the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that.
Neither Dolphins, like, look up Ashton Hall draft announcement, like or season announcement, and like he does the thing, and he was working out in their facilities. But when I saw that one, I think that's when I felt sad because remember, he tried to make it to the league and
that
didn't.
Is interesting.
And
that is interesting.
It was like you like some may look at that as a win, but if I got to like hang out at my crush's bedroom,
you get a tour,
and then I leave, I think I wouldn't be excited about that.
At the end of the day, though, the thing I'll say about this is that like Ashton Hall brought this upon himself because the effectiveness of the ad was not it improved by the choice at the end.
Well, yeah,
it was
that's true.
And it's another thing that it's like it gets more awareness and engagement, but what it creates is a negative brand association, which is what no one wants. Who's paying money to get a thing? And by the way, who cares about the people paying money to get a thing? It's just a stupid thing for him to do.
Yeah, no, you're very right.
Oh, is it the Jaguars?
Yes, it's Jaguars. Yeah.
Morning routine. Oh my God, we're still on this.
Yeah. Dude. Yeah, so this was what released a little while. I didn't send it to you like I normally do because I was like,
it's funny that they have the unbranded Saratoga, because they're not about to pay them. Yeah. Interesting. See, that's a little bit of rage bait, right? That's not a special waterproof sock that NFL players use.
That was a normal sock.
But he's like doing all the things that made people like angry, which I like. I kind of respect because he's like, all these things you said I was dumb got me this, and I'm like, hey,
sure,
hey, I'll give respect where it's due.
Thank you.
It is funny that like, he really isn't running that fast.
He's for his size. He's after watching the speed video, I'm like, he is fast.
Yeah,
for his size, for sure.
But I think definitely, I'd love to know what his 40 is.
Yeah. Oh, I think we have an old
more primetime games. Hello. Phone
I think we know his like college 40 time, which is like reasonably fast.
Yeah.
But it is a bummer that you tried to get into the NFL and you end up doing a commercial for them.
I think, and I'm not even just playing devil's advocate, I think that he's still getting paid.
Yeah.
And you definitely don't turn down the job. And he showed up for work and did it. I'll give him his flowers for
you scroll down at the comments, and now I have to talk about my biggest pet peeve is I do really like just like it annoys me when like people see someone like just is globally like everyone's like, this guy's dumb, this is silly, and then when the brand deals naturally come around, they're like, see, the haters, they were wrong. I was like, no, like it doesn't make it less dumb. No, just because you're like, to me that's the problem with capitalism. It's like, but also I don't like, so this is I like to give the full disclosure in conversation, but since we're recording, this is like a active premise that I'm doing as stand up. Like, we just need to be fine with like something being weird. Like, like to me, it's like, yeah, like I didn't like it. It wasn't for me. I don't care that he gets like money for that. I'm happy. I said, the whole time I was here, I was like, black man make money. To me, it's like funny to be like, and he's making money. I was like, and you're not in the comments. Like, it's
always just been silly.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
oh yeah.
And I think that, funny enough, this video is the one where it's like, all right, I think I would consider this a misstep, my friend.
Yeah.
Because,
let's go back to silly.
Because commodifying like a racist trope.
Yeah, you're going to end up in the same boat as that dancing buff dude.
Well, no, because that's the thing. It's like, because what is this but commodifying a racist trope for a big brand?
Yeah.
Right? And you didn't even need to do it.
You didn't need to do it.
And so it kind of, it gives like, I don't want to say the C word, but you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Definitely hanging out in Bloomberg. But I like, to me, I wonder if, because it always seems like he likes to like tag on stuff that people were like ragging on him for, and I wonder if in a earlier video he had chicken and watermelon, people were like, why are you eating that? And so he's doing it in this big brand video, kind of in the same way he did the banana peel to be like a fuck you, where it's like, you thought I was dumb for doing this on my own, watch me do it with this big brand. So I think I might have solved it. Cue the Death Note music. I wouldn't be surprised if we go back to one of his earlier videos and he is eating chicken and watermelon.
Yeah, you think this is part of his lore? It's like a callback.
It's one of the the same way he was like, I'm thinking 100 million. Everything.
It's like, if it's a callback, I'm like, my first thing is like, does that change my opinion?
Yeah,
and it's like yes and no. I do think that if you're doing an ad like this, especially a lot of times brands will boost it, and so you're going to be getting a lot of eyeballs who have no idea why you've done that.
Yeah.
And so you have to be prepared for it, because it's not always enough to say, no, this is like a callback from way back before.
Well, this is like an old like improv 101 thing where it's like, if you're going to do something like this, make sure it's really, really funny and good. Like, because you lose your audience and it's harder to get them back.
Yeah.
And this was not worth it, I guess is what I'm saying.
This feels like an improv when someone like makes a choice that they're trying to they're not trying to build anything up. They're trying to cash in on a cheap joke.
Yes.
But it's like so cheap that no one's laughing.
Yeah, it loses
or who I don't want to know who's laughing. You know what I mean? Right? Because in the big year of 2025, who's laughing at this?
Yeah, we don't want.
Right.
Do you want that audience, Ashton?
Well, I think we cracked it.
Yeah, we did it.
We solved it once again.
Yeah.
We solved race relas. We solved marketing. We solved social media. And we solved the princess treatment, I guess.
Yeah.
Iffy, thanks so much for joining us. We also have Iffy on our Sad Boyz Nightz episode where we talked about the Costco guys, which in many ways Ashton Hall is like the Costco guys, except for instead of booms, he runs on treadmill. And puts ice water on face.
And the booms are his steps on that.
Iffy, exactly.
You have shows coming up, right?
Yes.
This comes out Friday.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. So Friday, if you're watching from Chicago, I have shows all through the weekend, but the big show is going to be Monday night at the Tuesday night at the Lincoln Lodge. That'll be all over social media. And then the next Sunday, I will be at Second City doing stand-up with some friends in New York. So Chicago, New York, I'm coming to the city.
Comedy town.
Coming through, Comedy town.
Where can we follow you?
You can follow me on Nwadiwe on Twitter and Instagram. And you can follow me on iffycomedy.com on Blue Sky.
Ooh. And you can check out our Sad Boyz Nightz on patreon.com/sadboyz, where we chit-chatted a bunch about various topics, and it was a good time, grand old time. Iffy, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And also, you can check me out and Iffy. You can check me out on the season finale of actually.
Yes.
You can check Iffy out on the whole season. They let him be there the whole time.
Yeah, they let me run the thing.
And yeah, Iffy, thanks so much for joining us.
Yes.
We end every episode of Sad Boyz with a particular phrase. We love you.
And goodbye.
Ooh, I like that. That's the new Jordan.
Yeah.
Gucci girl, how you doing? How you moving, girl? Moving, girl. How's your day looking? That future girl, yeah, we on now. Take my money, go away, all you want it.
Girl, too rich for me.